Joining us now for a final look at the races down the ballot is Parris Dennard, a GOP commentator and the senior communications advisor for Black Media Affairs at the Republican National Committee. So, Parris, 24 hours to go. How are you feeling about the chances of holding on to the Senate?
You know, I just watched the video that the Senate Majority Leader, Senator Mitch McConnell, put out, and he's talked about holding the line. And that's exactly what the expectation is for Republicans to do in this election. It's hold the line, meaning let's make sure that we have the defenses that are there to ensure that President Trump's second term agenda, because I'm optimistic that he is going to have a second term, is going to be supported by Republican majority in the United States Senate. So we have to hold the line and keep Mitch McConnell in his position as the United States Senate majority leader. So I feel really good about our chances, because I think there's a lot of enthusiasm for the Republican Party and for the president. And I think that the actions that the Senate has done recently, especially when it comes to the fantastic new justice on the Supreme Court at the confirmation hearing that took place and the vote for the Senate of Amy Coney Barrett. That was a good thing for the American people to see, and a lot of people's minds could have been made up because of the actions taken by the Senate with the Republicans in charge just this last week.
It's an excellent point, because I remember right before the 2018 midterms, there was the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, and Republicans were able to build on their majority in the Senate. And I think that sometimes, too, there's a disconnect between what the competitive races are in the media and the ones that are actually competitive. I mean, for the past couple of months, I've been hearing that Senator Mitch McConnell may be upset in his home state in Kentucky, and I just saw a recent poll that shows he's up 11 or 12 or something like that. So I don't think that that's necessarily going to happen or anything like that. But is the president's success and the success of these vulnerable senators tied in a way, in the sense that it's all about bringing out Republican voters?
Look, I think at the end of the day, any Republican senator that's on the ballot that wants to win should hitch their wagon onto President Trump. You can see his record of his success for all communities, his record of success for the Black community, for the Hispanic community, for women especially. This president has been a champion for every American. And a lot of the things that he was able to get done was because he was able to work in a bipartisan manner with the United States Senate, with the leadership of Senator Mitch McConnell. So anybody, for an example, that is pleased with the president's First Step Act and criminal justice reform, that was because the president works with the Senate to get it done. He's been working tirelessly with senators like Senator Tim Scott out of South Carolina to create opportunity zones and other things to get the job done for the American people. And so when you are running an election, I think you can look at the wind that is behind President Trump and the record that's behind President Trump. And I think that energy, that enthusiasm is going to transfer over to those Republican senators who are proud to stand with the president, and how he has been going out and campaigning strong for many of these senators in these key states.
And Parris, you've talked about that enthusiasm before, and you lay it out perfectly by saying it's not just about the crowd size that are turning out at these Trump rallies, for example, but it's the type of people who are showing up. I remember you saying that it's not even necessarily 100% Republicans who are coming to these rallies necessarily. There are people who may feel that they don't have a home in the typical Democratic Party, or maybe before President Trump didn't have a home in the typical Republican Party. But these rallies, there's a question to be said there, is whether they're anecdotal or if they are a testament to the enthusiasm behind President Trump. But do you believe that these crowd sizes are a foreshadow of what we'll see on November 3rd?
Well, it's not just the crowd sizes. It's the fact that the president is actually campaigning for the vote. So you have a president who's actually going to multiple stops, 3 and 4 stops a day up until election night, trying to get the vote from the American people. 1. 2, it is the size of the crowds, the enthusiasm is on the ground from Republicans and not non-Republicans coming to these rallies, standing in line in the bitter cold in many instances to listen to this commander-in-chief. And the third point is there's a lot of grassroots organic things that are happening that are not coordinated by the campaign or the local party. I was just on the Trump bus tour in Ohio, and there was a caravan of Trump supporters, 1,000 cars going up and supporting outside of what we were doing in an organized fashion. We saw what happened in Texas, and we see it continued in Ohio. Just Sunday, they had 3,000 cars signed up. There's an organic grassroots groundswelling of support for this president. And you know what the other thing is? I'm getting calls and contacts from people who are saying, we're secret Trump voters. I got a message today. Female, white, college-educated, former Democrat, worked on the Hill, tired of the Democrat Party, feels that they do not align with her values, voting for President Trump, and is enthusiastically voting for him in the ballot box tomorrow. That is what's happening. That support is really real.
And even in the crucial swing state of Pennsylvania, a lot of people there were waking up on Sunday morning to see that the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette endorsed President Trump in the 2020 election, which, by the way, is the first time since 1972 that the Post-Gazette has endorsed a Republican candidate for president. So do you think now is the time where we are starting to see maybe those shy Trump supporters coming out of their shell, if you will, starting to be more outspoken, ready to take their voice, if you will, symbolically to the ballot box? Do you think now we're starting to see that come to fruition?
Absolutely. Look, the president is breaking in terms of his support right at the right moment. The polls are changing. The numbers are moving right now because people are paying attention and they're trying to see what is the president going to do to say something or have actions that are going to be there that can give them a reason to vote for him. And they're also looking for that for Joe Biden. You know what? They're not finding it. Joe Biden just continues to insult voters. Joe Biden talks about a national mandate for masks, what he just tweeted out. Joe Biden is talking about ending the oil and gas industry. He's against fracking. These are things that are not appealing to the American people, and he's doubling down on raising taxes. Whereas President Trump just got a hostage to come home. President Trump just got, a Supreme Court justice confirmed, a working mother, a working woman. This is a fantastic thing. And he's out there campaigning for the vote. The contrast is very clear. And the American people, especially those undecided voters right now, they're saying, President Trump continues to give me reasons to vote for him. And I'm going to do that. And I believe that's what's going to happen tomorrow.
And even yesterday, I thought it was a little bit confusing that Joe Biden decided to tweet out that he's in favor of a ban on assault rifles and he wants to do away with things like that. I mean, it doesn't seem like a guy who knows that this race is probably going to go through Florida, Georgia, Texas, Arizona, Pennsylvania. I mean, we can name all the swing states and it's just not a popular position. So it is kind of interesting to see what the Biden campaign is focusing on in the final hours. But Parris, Dennard, it's always a pleasure having you on this program. Thanks for breaking down the race for us.